Was I the problem the whole time? Am I the problem? Maybe it's the palette that's actually not blending well.
So satisfying. How beautiful is that?
Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Sorry if I'm not yelling as much as usual. It's because it's 6:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh, this is the earliest I've ever filmed ever. And naturally, I have my coffee here. We gotta get some energy going. I got my cute little Halloween cup here today. It's my Hobgoblin cup. It holds a lot of coffee. I think I've told the story about how I've got this mug before, but in case you haven't heard it, I'm gonna tell it again. A couple years on Halloween, I went to a bar and I ordered a drink that came in this cup, and the guy let me keep the cup. Wow, it's less of a riveting story than I thought. Do I have less exciting stories at 6 in the morning? That's nuts. Let me have a little more coffee here. You can see my energy kicking in real time. Oh my gosh, wow. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how early it is. But that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to watch me wake up in real time. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in me repressing the It's Freaking Bats palette and reacting to the palette a year later. In case you missed it, the It's Freaking Bats palette, done in collaboration with Beautbean, who is now Bean, and Shroud Cosmetics, had quite a bit of controversy around it last year. But let me give you the TDLR here, and that's that they did not expect Trend Mood to post about this palette, and so the palette got a lot more attention than I expected it to, especially for a small indie brand. So when it went on pre-sale, it sold out really quick. I actually was one of the people to get it on the first pre-sale because I'm nuts and I was like typing so fast, but it sold out really quick, and then they felt bad about it selling out really quick on the pre-sale, so they opened it up to an unlimited pre-sale, and so many people ordered it. So yeah, basically people ordered it in October, and some people didn't get theirs until June. But I'm making this video here today because a couple days ago I went to pull this palette out because, you know, the spooky season, it's freaking bats, and when I did, it was destroyed. I don't know what happened. I didn't drop it. I had it in my storage ottoman with a bunch of other palettes, so maybe it got like kind of clunked around in there. I'm not really sure what happened. So I thought it would be fun to repress it on camera with you guys, and after we go through the repressing together, I am going to try on the palette a year later and share my thoughts with you with how I really feel about the It's Freaking Bats palette, because honestly, I feel like my initial review was just, you know, a little clouded by excitement just to have the palette. So now a year later, I feel like I'm a little more removed for it and I can give a bit more of a real review. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to see me repress the It's Freaking Bats palette and give my thoughts a year later, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching, 'cause it's coming at you right now.
That's right, baby. We're jumping right in with the repress. Here is my It's Freaking Bats palette, and oh no, it's freaking crushed. And I don't even know how that happened, honestly. I didn't even drop it. I don't know how this got crushed so easily. But that's okay, because I've got all of the tools to make it right. I got my little pressing tools here. I got my little, those are to press the eyeshadow in. That's to crush up the eyeshadows there, my little crushing tool. And I've got my special moon mousse to repress it all together. And now we're getting right into it. First, I started off by trying to just like clean up some of this shade Trappa. Multiple shades got crushed, but none of them destroyed my palette the way Trappa did. Trappa literally got into all the other shades, and it was such a pain to try to clean up. Oh my gosh, I have Trappa literally everywhere all over my house, but here I am crushing up Apparition, which is so satisfying. How beautiful is that? Oh, and Handbook got like a little crush, but not enough that I felt like the need to crush it all up again. Oh my gosh, we're really moving right along here. Now I'm crushing up Zero, which is also beautiful. Looks like crushed crystals to me. I love it. So pretty. And now I'm pressing Zero just with my little pressing tool here. And then I'm using my finger just to make it nice and smooth. Trappa, again, getting absolutely everywhere. This one took me years to press. Took years off my life, that's for certain. And then Apparition was a joy. The shimmers were really a joy to repress. They weren't difficult at all. Trappa, however, was very problematic. But that's okay. Now I'm going in with the mousse. And wait till you see what happens with this mousse. I know the footage is sped up, but the shimmers really absorbed in like truly 5 seconds, whereas Trappa took like 20 minutes. Not even exaggerating, it took so long. I wasn't sure it's gonna absorb it all, but it did after about 20.
Alright, so now that you've seen me go through the process of repressing my palette, here is what it looks like the following day after it's all dry and oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. Honestly, it really does look as good as new. The only shade that you'll probably see it looks a little wonky to me is Trappa. I don't know what was going on with Trappa. I mean, you saw the mousse was just like not soaking into it. Like it was so dry. I mean, you saw how quickly it soaked into the shimmers and then not into the matte. I was very confused. So this one looks a little wonky to me. I don't know how this is gonna apply. I'm worried I pressed it a little too hard because I definitely added more mousse later in the day after I finished filming because I felt like it still looked really dry, and it definitely made it driest. So you know what? We'll give it a chance. I'm not gonna judge it by what it looks like. So let's take a look. See, you know, let's zoom in here. Let's do a little look. I went ahead and set my eyes with some concealer here, so we got a nice base to work with. That's something I did not do a year ago when I reviewed this palette for the first time. I used to not prime my eyes with anything, so let's see if that makes a difference. All right, so I feel like we have to use the shade Trappa, right? I was just talking all this smack about how I feel like it's not gonna work as well, so I don't know, let's see. But last year, my review of this palette was pretty much all positive, just because I feel like I was so excited to have it, and even though I felt like some of the shades weren't blending very well last year, I felt like it was user error. You know, I really felt like it was my fault. So even when things weren't blending great, I was like, that's just because you suck at blending. Like that's not the palette's fault, it's because you suck at blending. But you know, later on, as I continued to try it, and as I got better at blending with other eyeshadow palettes, it started to hit me that like, oh, maybe it's the palette that's actually not blending well. I also felt like last year, and I'm not seeing it so far, but I am gonna keep an eye out for it. Last year with this shade in particular, Trappa, I noticed it oxidizing on like the edges. I don't know if oxidize is the right word to describe that, but basically like it would go on this beautiful rich chartreuse color, and on the edges it would look darker than it would in the middle. I don't know, it was very weird. I'm not seeing it so far. I thought at the time that maybe it's because I had oily eyelids, but also at the same time last year I was setting my eye with a translucent powder before I even put the eyeshadow on. So I really don't think it was oils, but I'm seeing it a little bit on this eye. I don't know if you can tell, it's like a little bit darker in the front than it is on the back, but it doesn't look super bad. It's not showing up on the edges this time. It's just kind of like not an even color, but also that could be for me repressing it. I don't know, man. I'm over here just making wild assumptions. Let me just get to my blending. I also have no plan for this eye look, as always. I never have a plan, we just figure it out as I go. But I definitely want to try to use some of the shades that I repressed. I'm not going to focus as much on the shades that I didn't repress, and we'll get to those another day perhaps. This is a really beautiful chartreuse color though. Dang it, I don't have anything else like this in my collection. I gotta admit, this is an incredibly unique shade, at least to my collection, and I do really like having it around. Okay, actually we are gonna use one shade that I didn't repress, but it's the shade I struggled the most with last year as far as blending generally, and that was the shade Dairy, which is this beautiful deep purple. It's such a beautiful palette color story wise. Betty Jean just has such a good eye for color. Like this color story is my favorite color story ever made, like hands down. Like this is just such a good curated color story. But anyways, this shade, I'm already off on a tangent. This shade Dairy blended horribly on me last year, and maybe it was my fault. Again, maybe it was my fault, I don't know. And I also wasn't using a good primer, so let's check it out now and see if anything's changed. I'm gonna pop that on the outer corner. It's got such a beautiful richness to it. I mean, it almost looks black, like especially in the viewfinder, it almost looks black, but it is a nice deep eggplant purple, like, you know, like the skin of an eggplant. When anyone says eggplant, are they ever talking about the middle of the eggplant? Isn't the middle of the eggplant more like a greenish beige and the outside is purple? I don't know, dude. I actually don't love eggplant. I don't hate eggplant though. Me and eggplant have an estranged relationship where I'm kind of unsure if I like it, so I kind of just tend to avoid it. And you know what? It's worked out so far. It doesn't come up a lot in cuisines that I seek out. Give me your eggplant hot takes in the comments down below. These are the type of things I think about at 6 a.m. you guys. I would love to know your thoughts on eggplant. Oh my gosh. Okay, well this shade is working pretty well so far. I'm kind of just winging it at this point, literally and figuratively. I am liking it. It's not showing up as patchy as I remember it, so maybe it was my priming situation last year that was the problem. Was I the problem the whole time? Am I the problem? All right, I know that probably looks a little messy and incomplete right now, but I want to move on to my center shimmer shade real quick, and then I'll come back and fix that afterwards. All right, so I went ahead ahead and applied some of my Fear and I Pixie Epoxy to give us a nice glitter primer here. And now I want to go into the shade Apparition, which is one of the 2 duochromes in this palette. One thing I've never had an issue with in this palette is the shimmers. I think the shimmers are unbelievably beautiful, like possibly my favorite shimmer formula ever. Granted, they're pretty softly pressed because they did break very easily, but I'm hoping now that I've repressed them, they'll be a little better. I don't know. They were already really good. I'm just hoping they'll break less easily now that they're repressed. And this shade Apparition is this gorgeous purple gold duochrome. So let's go ahead and pop that on the middle here. Okay, so pretty. I'm glad to see that I didn't press it too hard. That's something you have to worry about when you do repressed shadows. I haven't repressed a ton of them in my day. Also in the past, I wasn't using like official like shadow repressing mousse. I was just using like alcohol. So I guess, you know, this is maybe a little more official. It has some more like oils and stuff in it, so it doesn't get like too hard. So I do feel like that is playing to my benefit here, and it's not like so hard that I can't even dip my finger into it. Although I am getting some more fallout than I'm used to getting, but I think that is due to the nature of me chopping it up and repressing it. So that's okay. Clearly I haven't done my base makeup yet, so that is okay. I will clean it up before I do. But this shade is so pretty, and I'm just so happy that I didn't press it too hard. Okay, now let's just pop a little bit of Sam on the inner corner. Why not? I was gonna call it there, but Sam is like one of my favorite inner corner highlights. It's such an unusual shade, but I really like it. It's like a nice, almost like sea foamy green situation, but it's really icy. It's so pretty. I haven't used this palette in so long. I kind of felt bad about using it for a long time because, you know, I do YouTube, I do Instagram. I like to share everything that I use with you guys. I always like to give product details so that if you like something I wear, you can go out and get it for yourself, you know? I'm not trying to sell you on anything, you know, not trying to influence you, but just giving you the option. You know, if you like something I wear, I like to tell you what I'm wearing. And I felt really bad wearing the It's Freaking Bats palette because you guys couldn't get it. I didn't want to feel like I was rubbing it in your face. Not that I know I wouldn't be, you know, I'm projecting. Libra rising, people pleaser. It's Libra season. I got a lot of feelings going on, but I didn't want to make you guys feel bad if you liked my eyeshadow and you couldn't get it for yourself. So now that I can use it, now that it's like restocked and actually available and everybody's gotten theirs, I feel like I want to use it a little more, especially now. It's performing better than I remember it performing in the past. So is it my repressing, or have I just gotten better at eyeshadow? The world may never know, but I think it's a little bit of both. Okay, so as promised, I am gonna come back and finish up that deep purple shade, make it look a little cleaner. I'm also gonna make it a little more graphic. If this is your first video ever on my channel, hi, my name is Giovanna. I'm a Virgo. I'm so happy to have you here. And yeah, I like graphic eye looks. I'm not much for like big blown out blended looks. You know, I've definitely improved my blending a lot over the last year, but I prefer to make things graphic because I just think it's fun. It makes me feel the most confident, makes me feel the most powerful. So yeah, I'm gonna make this a little more graphic here. But I will say, even when I reviewed this palette last year, I kind of tried to go for a more graphic shape with this eyeshadow, and I don't recall it performing this well. So yeah, maybe the priming situation is what I needed the whole time. You guys honestly have helped me with my eyeshadow game so much, because I used to just not prime my eyes. Well, I used to use like a translucent powder or like a skin tone shade eyeshadow, and I was like, why don't my eyeshadows blend well on my eyelids? I don't know why that is. Everything's just like patchy and falls right off. And you guys were like, you don't have a sticky base. You have to have a sticky base so it has something to stick to. And that, like, I just like didn't listen for a long time. I was like, you guys don't understand. I have oily eyelids. And then one day I finally put a primer on my eyes and I was like, oh, everything is sticking. Nothing's patchy anymore. It's almost like you guys were right. Thank you so much for telling me how to wear eyeshadow. That was super sweet of you. All right, the sun is coming up. My eye look is coming together. I'm feeling really good. So let me go ahead and just throw on the rest of my face real quick, and then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts on the It's Freaking Bats palette a year later. All right, you guys, here you have it. Here's my finished look. I'm not gonna lie, this is a good look for starting this at 6 in the morning, man. Like, this is cute. I really like the combination of colors I did today. I was kind of like, do I want to do the chartreuse with like the goldy purple? Is that gonna work? And then adding the icy green, is that just gonna throw it off? You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm all about mixing colors, but I do sometimes get worried to blend like warm and cool tone colors together. But I think what is really cool about this color story is the color colors work together like unexpectedly. Like, I don't know, is it just me? I'm like, this color and this color blending together, how's that gonna work? But it works. So I gotta say, color story, 10 out of 10. But let's talk about how I'm feeling as a whole about this palette, a year removed from, you know, kind of the drama surrounding the original launch. And I'm just looking at the palette objectively, like drama aside, I do still feel happy that I purchased this. I'm happy that I got it. I do feel like a lot of my issues could have just been solved with a good eye primer last year. And by a good eye primer, I just mean concealer. I'm just wearing concealer on my eyes. Like, I'm not even wearing a fancy eye primer. I'm wearing a Shop Miss A concealer. So I'm wearing like a $1 concealer, and these shadows apply a million times better. So that's great. Now granted, I haven't used all the shades again yet. I only used a few today. I went with the ones I repressed. I'm thrilled that I didn't ruin Trappa. I really thought that I ruined it, you guys. It looked so cracked and gross last night. I was like, oh no, that's not good at all. But I guess I didn't ruin it. I actually feel like I kind of helped it because I feel like it looked less oxidized this time. So, I mean, is it the primer or is it my repressing? We'll never really know, but I do like the way it's performing better now than it did last year. So, wow, oh my gosh, my opinion changing over a year's time, unbelievable, unheard of. I'm just kidding, I change my opinion all the time, which is why I like to update you on things like this. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this where I do like an updated review on an eyeshadow palette that I bought last year, because let's be real, in 2020 I bought a stupid amount of eyeshadow palettes. I bought so many. So let me know if you want to see like a year later review. I'd love to do that for you because this was so fun. I had so much fun repressing too. How freaking satisfying is it to watch shadows get crushed up and then put back together? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like nothing in the world is more satisfying. But yeah, ooh, let me zoom you out for the outro. You guys, the sun came up in the time we did this video, so sorry if the lighting is a little weird. Let's zoom you in a little more. I thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're always really cute and sweet like this one. Why am I doing the Macarena? I don't know, it's early. Check out my description box for all of the makeup on my face today. Also in my description box, I will have a bunch of Black Lives Matter resources, resources to support the Asian American community, and resources to support the LGBTQ+ community. So please check those links if you haven't yet. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! It's freaking bats. Bye!